Live from the SEP Video Studio in Northwest Florida, it's Late Night Talk with Jamie Settle.
Hello and welcome to the show, the Late Night Talk with myself, Jamie Settle. Today is December 30th, which is New Year's Eve. So we've got just one more day of 2021 and then we start out with 2022. So also tonight, we're live streaming on YouTube as well at youtube.com/SEPTVHD. That's my business channel. And a lot more things will be going on there, hopefully this next year, as we are planning so many new things to show you. And so with this show, feel free to comment live during the show, and I'll always try to respond. That's how it's going to work. And so with the New Year's going on, in my household, we don't do much except for maybe watch the Times Square ball drop on New Year's Eve. And so what's happening this New Year's Eve for you? How are you celebrating? Are you having a party, going to the bar, or traveling, or family time, or watching on TV? Now, of course, tomorrow I will be busy watching one of my favorite shows that will come out with their new season on Netflix, which is Cobra Kai Season 4. It drops on Netflix this morning. So hopefully it's actually a continuation of the Karate Kid saga with everyone older, of course, and a new set of kids growing up and learning how to fight. And so it's been done really well these last 3 seasons. It's not just done for nostalgia. I mean, they've got something really going that's really interesting. So it looks like it's going to be a good season again. Now, of course, last week we had the trivia question, and I had offered a cup that I got from CustomEnvy.com. Now, of course, I think the upload of the image didn't go through very well. For whatever reason, there was an error with that. I contacted CustomEnvy.com, and we got it straightened out, and they were willing to give me another one that is full color. This was supposed to be full color. And so as a giveaway prize to the trivia question, I was going to give this away, but I never saw any response to the trivia question. And the trivia question, of course, was, when did the New Year's Eve ball first drop in Times Square? And of course, the answer is 1907. So I've got a plan what I'm going to do with this. My cousin wanted it, so I think I'm going to just give it to him. We'll have more to give away later on in the new year, and also I might be ordering a lot more custom stuff from CustomEnvy.com, and hopefully we can set up a little shop that you can also shop for custom stuff for Late Night Talk with myself. But now, before we get to the next trivia question, just want to say that one of my favorite times is coming up this new year, which is Pensacon. Pensacon is our local Comic-Con event that happens in Pensacola, Florida. And I've been involved with Pensacon for several years now. I love being able to go there and meet some of the celebrities, have my picture taken with them, and get a couple of autographs. And so here are some of the several guests that are going to be appearing at Pensacon this year. We've got Alex Winter, which is he plays Bill in the Bill and Ted movies from long ago, and from the most recent one, Bill and Ted Face the Music. And so I'm particularly excited about this one because it actually relates to this talk show in a way. What's happened before, whenever I was a kid, my dad, of course, got a video camera, and I fell in love with the video camera, as I'm still in love with it today. And I wanted to make a talk show, and so I made this talk show called just the talk show. And so I just set a camera on like the ironing board because we didn't have a tripod, faced it on me, and as a kid I was just doing goofy stuff, things like that. And one of the things that I remember doing, and I might show you the video next week because it's kind of funny, I was imitating Bill and Ted, and that's what comes to mind when thinking about Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. But yeah, Alex Winter is one of the guests that's coming to Pensacon. The next one is Richard Dreyfuss. He's well known throughout a lot of movies. One of the movies that really stick out to me is What About Bob? He played a fantastic role as a, I think it was psychiatrist that helps Bill Murray out, his character out. And so everything goes wrong for Richard Dreyfuss. So, but yeah, so Richard Dreyfuss, and then of course Joey Fatone from NSYNC and from Dancing with the Stars. Then we have Tom Arnold. He has appeared in many shows. One of the shows that I remember him appearing in is Roseanne back in the 90s. And so then we've got George Takei. He is Mr. Zulu from Star Trek, the original series. Then two guests that are coming that I'm really interested in seeing is Renee Jacobs. She was the voice of April O'Neil from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cartoon, the original cartoon back in '87. I just went nuts as a child with being friends or being fans. I mean, of the Turtles. Turtles was really big back then. And then we have Pat Frawley. Frawley, I've heard different pronunciations of his last name, so I may not be saying it quite right, but he was also the voice of Krang. He was one of the bad guys that helped out with the Shredder. And then apparently he was also voice of Casey Jones in the cartoon as well. And of course, Pensacon, if you're interested, go to pensacon.com, and it's February 18th through the 20th this next year. So I'm looking forward to that very much. I say all this to bring the next trivia question. So if you know this trivia question, shout it out. Let me know. Fortunately, this week there's no prize, but here's one one of the questions in Star Trek, the original series. What is Mr. Sulu's, and that is played by George Takei, what is Mr. Sulu's primary position on the USS Enterprise? So, give me a shout out. I am trying to see to make sure that I'm getting comments on here. I've gotten one comment from YouTube, and I'm not quite sure if it's coming in right. But I'm going to be checking Facebook for a moment here just to see what's going on here. And I'm going to mute the sound just to... Sorry, I don't mean to get some dead air here. But it looks like Lori Justice says hi. Hi, Lori. How are you doing? I'm glad you joined us. And so yeah, if you know the answer to what Mr. Sulu did, what his position was on the USS Enterprise, just please let me know, and I'll comment and let you know if you got it right. And apparently Facebook comments aren't coming through on this new device that I'm using, so I'll be flipping back tabs to check it out. But thank you all for joining me today. Now, of course, we've got we're talking about the new year and some of the holidays, some of the different things that you may have known or may not have known. We're still in the 12 days of Christmas. That ends on January 5th as the last day or the 12th day of Christmas. And it's more than just a song, as we've found out within the last few weeks. Another thing that interests me is learning about the king cake, or the three wise men cake. And so we have what's called on January 6th is the King's Cake tradition, which you're probably wondering what that is. And so for those less than familiar with the Mardi Gras traditions, your first king cake experience might come by way of a friend or a coworker who hails from Louisiana. As you cut yourself a slice of the oval-shaped treat, they may inform you that whomever gets the piece with a small plastic baby inside has to bring the king's cake themselves next time. This news will only raise more questions, such as, is that a ridiculous rule they just made up, and why is there a baby in the cake? The answer to the first question is no. This is, in fact, custom for some, and second, the explanation for the baby is a culturally crossed, pollinated, and wonderful as all things Mardi Gras. So it does connect with the Christmas story as well as Mardi Gras season. People eat king cake during carnival season, which kicks off January 6th, this next Thursday. On the Christian feast of Epiphany, which we had talked about, that's also called King's Day or the Three Kings Day, New Orleans residents and other Mardi Gras enthusiasts around the country munch on them in the weeks that follow up through Fat Tuesday, Mardi Gras Day. That's Tuesday, February 6th. Well, this is an old article, but it should be in February at some time. You could make your own king's cake and eat it any time during the year, but why would you bake a pumpkin pie in July? So you need to look up on Google to see what you need to do to make a king's cake and have some next Thursday. The king's cake is one of New Orleans' local delicacies and oval braided, confection smothered with white icing and sugar sprinkles that salute the official colors of Mardi Gras. Green for faith, purple for justice, and gold for power. There's a trinket, usually a plastic baby, hidden inside each one. King cake typically tastes like a decadent breakfast Danish, a bread swirled with cinnamon. It's made of ingredients including eggs, flour, butter, sugar, and yeast. Bakeries around the Big Easy offer their own spins on the classic recipe. Whew, that's making me hungry right now for some sweets. I've got to hold on. But here's some local news for you that may cause a little bit of inconvenience, but we're all used to that. The Highway 90 bridge over Simpson River in Santa Rosa County, construction activities are scheduled to begin the week of Monday, January 3rd, on the US 90 bridge replacement project over Simpson River in Santa Rosa County. The work includes reconstructing the eastbound bridge and widening the westbound bridge to include 7-foot outside shoulders, bicycle lanes, additional improvements, including milling and resurfacing the pavement, improving drainage, installing new signage and guardrail, and reconstructing curb and gutter. Drivers should anticipate traffic shifts and nighttime lane closures. In addition, the speed limit will be lowered to 35 miles per hour. The project is estimated for completion in early 2025. All activities are weather dependent and may be delayed for reschedule in the event of inclement weather. Drivers are reminded to use caution, especially at night when traveling through a work zone, and to watch for construction workers and equipment entering and exiting the roadway. Now, for more information, visit the Florida Department of Transportation District 3 on the web at www.nwflroads.com. Of course, you can follow them on Twitter and Instagram or like them on Facebook. So please, please, please make sure that you are aware of that as you're either going to or from Pace or Pensacola. And so we've got a couple other graphics to show you. This is phase 1, widening the westbound bridge. Crews will install a temporary work bridge between the existing bridges. 2 lanes of traffic in each direction will continue on the existing bridges. And then, of course, on phase 2, we have 2 lanes of both east and westbound traffic will be temporarily shifted to the newly widened westbound bridge. During this time, crews will remove the existing eastbound bridge and construct the new bridge. Then on phase 3, once the new eastbound bridge is complete, traffic will be placed in the final configuration with 2 east and 2 westbound travel lanes on the respective bridges. So that will be what it will be looking like when they are complete. So that's a little information there. We know that it's not always the best time when they're working on the roads, but being sure and being watchful and knowing what's going on will help control the situation a little bit better. So hopefully there won't be too many delays while traveling, but just to be aware, you might want to find an alternate route probably if you can, but just be aware. So now it's time for the top 10 list. Now this is not particularly a top 10 list of mine, but it has to do, of course, with New Year's. And more importantly, New Year's resolutions. I know. We all try to make our resolutions each year. And each year, we either give up or we fail or we just come short of trying to do the best things for us. We all start out well, and sometimes we just don't finish well. Here's one thought that I wanted to throw out there is that, of course, we're all human. We all are going to be making mistakes and delays and things of that nature. But let's look at these more of when we're not doing what we're supposed to be doing, the resolutions that are set before us. Let's not get too down on ourselves. Let's make sure that we realize that we're not perfect, that it takes time for a habit to develop. And so the only thing that we can do is acknowledge it, move on, and try again. And so that's the best advice that I think I can give to help you stay motivated. So here are 10 suggestions for New Year's resolutions. And so here is number 1. We all are trying to eat healthier. Unsurprisingly, eating better on this list came out on top, sharing first position with getting more exercise and saving more money. So basically, the first 3 resolutions that I'm giving to you came out the same percentage, pretty much, from the article that I got from. So, of course, the holidays, we're all eating more. We're all we're all being a little glutton a little bit for punishment. But after eating and drinking to our heart's content over Christmas and New Year's, over a third of us are ready to improve our eating habits by the time January swings around. So number 1 is eating more healthy. And then number 2 is, of course, getting more exercise. January is a notoriously lucrative month for gyms. After 2 weeks of Christmas movie marathons and festive relaxation, most are ready to move our bodies with a view to improving our health or losing weight. So that's another suggestion. You don't necessarily have to go to the gym. If you're like me, I mean, I've been to some gyms before, and I've gotten really into it, and it's really easy, actually. If you're afraid to go to the gym or you've got some fear about it, I suggest, of course, with everything with COVID going on, of course, we've got to be cautious about that and not, be wise, of course. We still have to, do life, but be wise about getting out and going about and things like that. But other than COVID, of course, it's easier than you think to get involved in a gym. And so I'm not a gym person, but I really enjoyed my time. I just got away from it, like a lot of us do. So getting more exercise, you can go for a walk through the neighborhood, down the street. If you've got a bike, you can ride your bike around, get some exercise. You can start for 15 minutes or 30, and then build up to an hour. And so it's easier than what I thought whenever I started walking. It's just that thing, where you've got to just get back into it. And so I've got to get back into walking around the neighborhood. Now, of course, the third thing is saving money or saving more money. Of course, during the holidays, we're buying presents, buying more food for get-togethers, Christmas parties. Of course, travel time to visit friends and relatives can leave our wallets feeling lighter coming in January. It's the credit card crunch. It's little wonder so many of us feel the need to save money at this time of year. Now, number 4, this is also very important, to focus on self-care. The recent shift towards well-being has brought self-care into more focus. Whether you plan to enjoy more me time, book in for a massage once a month, or spend time outdoors, there are plenty of ways to make self-care a priority. And so you can go on the internet, you can look up self-care, me time, and I'm sure tons of suggestions will pop up. Then, of course, number 5, this is a little bit of me time as well. How about reading more? Almost a fifth of us want to curl up more often with a good book, and it's been proven to help relax and even ease our anxiety. Hey, Melissa, how are you doing? Melissa Carter Parker says hello. And so, pull up, read a book. It eases anxiety, reduces blood pressure. It's clear why reading is so high on our list of me time priorities. So, when you see you've got time, pull up a chair and just grab a book and read. Then, of course, number 6 is learning a new skill. New year, new skills. Resolutions don't always have to involve giving up something. Sometimes it's nice to make a positive addition to our lives. You can learn anything from a new sport to mindful meditation. That's another good thing too. You could go on YouTube and type in mindfulness meditation, and there are several good channels that help guide you to just be in a more relaxed position for yourself and for your body. And I've tried some of them, and they really do work. It really does relax you. Number 7 is make new friends. Friends are good for us. They motivate, inspire, entertain, advise, support, and so much more. And it's so good when you have a really good friend that is there for you, that supports you. I've got one or two or three, really good friends in my life that I look up to. Probably, I'm sure a lot more, but they help me out. They inspire me. I try, to return the favor as well, and they are the good ones. And so, whether you move to a new area or simply want to widen your social circle, making friends is a great resolution. Now, of course, number 8 here, we've all talked in the news about the great resignation. Number 8 here is kind of along those lines, is get a job or get a new job. A new year brings new possibilities and often fresh motivation. Job hunting is mostly difficult over the holiday season or Christmas season when offices are shut down. But if you're seeking a new role or career change, January seems to be a great time to start looking. And number 10, take up a new hobby. We live in a world where we can learn to do pretty much anything, and many from the comforts of our own homes. Here, exactly what I'm doing. I love video so much, so I've made this studio space, and I've made it possible where I can talk with you guys. John Steinbeck is my go-to. That's from Melissa. Yep. And so, you can take a new hobby up and just go with it. For my mom, she loves arts and crafts, and my aunt as well loves arts and crafts, and so they just dive in, create little trinkets and other things that are one of a kind things, and I've tried to convince them to sell them as well, because I think a lot of people would like to buy some of those. So yeah, and that's creating a new hobby. Whether it's knitting, painting, calligraphy, photography, or bird watching, or arts and crafts, there's huge variety of learning opportunities available to us. And so, of course, as I'm doing this video production, I'm looking from home. I'm looking at some of the great people that I think are authentic, that I see on TV, and I'm trying to learn from them, watching them and learning. And one of the things that I've done when I was growing up in high school was looking at the local news and looking at some of the people that were on the local news, some of the anchors, some of the news anchors, reporters, and it's really paid off, and I've got to know a couple of them personally, and they're great friends of mine, and I really appreciate their friendship, and they help me out, and so I really appreciate that. And so, a lot of good, positive things can come from doing new hobbies and doing new things, basically. I mean, it's the new year, so go for it. Then, of course, on number 10, which, of course, I probably may need to, focus on a little bit, focus more on romantic, sometimes I just can't talk. But anyhow, focus more on romantic relationships. And, of course, it's at the bottom of the list, although in the top 10, it was shining the spotlight on our relationships with our partners, with work, family, commitments, and other responsibilities. Sometimes we can take our loved ones for granted. Why not schedule a weekly or monthly date night? So there you've got the top 10 New Year's resolutions. And I think that is all the time that we have for tonight. And if you know the answer to the trivia question, please comment. If you're watching this later, if no one's commented already, go ahead and comment on what you think Mr. Zulu's position was on Star Trek, the original series. Mr. Zulu was played by George Takei. And Nancy and Mike Hutto says helmsman. And that is right. He was the helmsman. I cannot talk. Maybe I need some water. my throat's getting a little dry. It's getting a little comical too. But yes, the helmsman on the USS Enterprise. So thank you, Nancy and Mike Hutto. And so here we go. We are out of time. And so I hope that you come back next Thursday, and maybe I might have a king cake to show you that I've baked myself. And so we'll get into the celebration of January 6th and kicking off into the Mardi Gras season, even though it's a little early for the Mardi Gras season. But anyhow, Thank you for joining me once again, and we'll see you next Thursday. Have a great weekend and great week, and stay safe and stay warm because there's colder weather coming up this weekend. So bundle up, and we'll see you next time. Bye.